Hey, hello my darlings, it's Michaela. I never know what I'm gonna look like on this. Anywho, I am so excited to talk about this topic, and the reason why is because I feel like so many people get really tripped up when they fuck up. And the thing that I want to share tonight is that everybody does it. Even the people that are experiencing progress or maintaining progress, and that there are certain ways to help you to not go down familiar paths that lead to kind of a disastrous end, okay? So I wanted to talk about the points that I mentioned in our, it's gonna be a little wacky with light, I guess. Things that, I'm not sure if that's good or not, maybe yes, okay. I am luminous. Things that I mentioned in our event. So some of the elements, basically like goal here is to kind of like prevent that misstep from happening, or like to take us down, really, that's what we're aiming to do. And I'm gonna say this also, this is like from the bottom of my heart. I think that what most people do is they just expect themselves to never fuck up. And the deal is we all will fuck up. What we want to do is basically recover as fast as possible and then potentially learn from that fuck up. That's like the best thing ever. And I will say this too. There are different types of fuck ups. So there's the like, you know, I was unprepared. Like I'm kind of speaking to sugar burners and fat burners here this evening, because our bodies function differently. So if you're like, shit, you know, I didn't prepare a meal, I was out somewhere and I was really hungry and the only thing available was blank. And so it's like, how do we, you know, let's help us to not do that again. So we aim to learn from that, right? It's like, well, that was, you know, that ended in a way that I didn't intend. How do I prevent that in the future? That's one kind of fuck up. Another kind of fuck up is the like, ooh, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I want to do it. And so it's like, okay, like, I ask my fat burners all the time, do you really want this? And if the answer is yes, then you go for it. And if the answer is no, then we don't go for it. When we typically have more cycles of regret, it's when we're just saying yes to the shit that's around us versus the shit that we really want, okay? So popcorn, pizza, like, you know, cocktails, wine, whatever, like that stuff can always be delicious or fun. But the question is, if it's not kind of at our carb feast, I'll talk about fat burning stuff at the end of this. If it's not what we're intending to do for, to help us move in the direction that we desire currently, then it's like, the question is, do I really want this? And if the answer is no, then we don't do it. Where most people experience more regret is when they do the shit that they didn't actually really want. And the thing that I also want to say about this, we do this with all fat burners do this. This is my desire to make sure all fat burners do this, which is to, like when we're the boss and we're the one in charge and we're the one who gets to say yes or no to ourselves, then we never have to rebel. We never have to say, fuck it. We never feel restricted because we can always say yes. But what is really helpful with that practice, that skill development, which is really discipline, is the truth, is that it's easier for us to be honest and to turn things down when we don't really want them versus just telling ourselves no all the time. And then when we're faced with opportunity, we always say yes. Okay? I hope that distinction is useful. And then the third type of fuck up is the on repeat, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Like, fuck, like that happened again. You know, shit, I said I wasn't going to, like riddled with regret, fuck up. And that is one that I hope, what do I want to say? That is another, like, how do I learn from this? And in truth, that type of fuck up is typically indicative of a larger need, is really the truth. And so, like, if we are, it's so often connection, to be honest. When we're reaching for food or for drink, we're looking for connection. And so when we don't have that, when we don't have a sense of connection, it's so easy to try to replace that with food. And so the thing that I want to give a lot of credence to is that that primary need is real. So to have a repetitive, inappropriate use of food, maybe drink, in a way that feels regrettable, it's not you, it's not the substances, is that it's the need, there's a need that's not getting met. And I'll just say, like, don't know who's listening to this, not sure of your particular situation, but like a very easy assumption is that it is a need for connection. And so I would encourage anyone to start there. And whether that's like, I've been alone for days, I haven't talked to anyone, or I haven't had any sort of like nourishing conversation or connection, you know, it's like I feel a little like pent up, you know, there's some stuff that's on my mind and I haven't had a chance to talk about it with anybody. And it's like, that shit is real. And so the thing that's not matched, that's out of alignment, is that we're just trying to get that need met by something that's like not helpful and regrettable, but the need is real. So that's typically the one where it's like, if we're going to learn something from that type of fuck up, it's that there's something that we actually need. And that's what we actually need to tend to versus trying to just not eat. Okay? I hope that distinction is clear and useful. So the biggest thing I want to say is that I really want to normalize making mistakes, like slipping up, you know, not doing what you intended, or choosing to do something that's less than ideal. Like, these are all super reasonable human things, whether we have, you know, a particular goal or we just know that something like wasn't in our best interest, like at a particular time. It's normal, okay? And so this, what do I want to say? So I'm going to kind of go through some steps that I think are really useful to help prevent shame. And so shame is considered, I think, like our master emotion. It is so, it makes us feel pretty powerless. It's really destabilizing. It can be kind of crushing. So the last thing we want to do is to feel shitty and ashamed of ourselves because of what we've done, especially if we're trying to do something particular, all right? So I just kind of wanted to go through a few steps and then talk about the advantage that fat burners have even when they fuck up, and how they have points in their existence that involve shit that sounds like fucking up, but that's not. So I just want to talk about all of this and then a little bit of fat burning benefit at the end, all right? So step number one, when you have fucked up in whatever capacity, whatever of these three categories that I've classified, right? Shit. I wasn't planned out. I totally fucked that up. Damn it. Like, B, ooh, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I totally am. And C, the repetitive fuck up, the like, oh God, you know, I shouldn't have bought ice cream and I ate it all again like today, like the repetitive, you know, regrettable, regardless of what flavor your fuck up is, you have to make yourself right. So whatever has gone on, whatever is going on, you have to make yourself right. And so the reason why is because it feels so terrible to make ourselves wrong. It's so, what do I want to say? It creates so much like friction inside of us. So much dissonance is what I want to say, so much discord. It's very, again, dysregulating to be kind of pitting ourselves against ourselves. And the reason why it is so important to make yourself right, even when it was like, that was wrong. Like, you know, I didn't really want to do that. Did I want to like order pizza at 3 a.m? Like, yes, at the time, that was my deliberate fuck up. Was it great for my waistline or like anything else? No. But I have to make that right, because the whole thing is when we make ourselves wrong, it's quite an attack like on ourselves and on kind of the integrity of our being. These are my words. And so it's hard to stay conscious when we are kind of whooping ourselves up or like whipping ourselves in some respects. And the deal is you need to stay conscious. You need to stay connected to yourself. And really it's you need to stay connected to your, it's like your prefrontal cortex. So when we are present, we are in our right mind, literally. So we're not in a reactive space. The bits of the brain that I know about, so that prefrontal cortex is our thinking brain, our higher thinking. We can make bigger decisions, better decisions. And so ultimately, we want to be there as much as possible. And that's when our nervous system is regulated, bottom line, and we are present. So we don't want to do anything additional that helps to keep us in a whacked out state, whether that's in our, what do I want to say, our limbic system, which is connected to anxiety, or our brainstem, which is more about basically like shutting down, depression, checking out. And so those elements of our brain are connected to our safety, but the whole deal is that when we are dysregulated, we're kind of in one or the other, this anxiety, this anxious state, or this fight or flight, or this reptilian section that is more about numbing out, shutting down, being depressed, freezing. And so with it, like neither of these places are useful. So we need to get back to the top. We need to get back to this higher portion of our brain. Okay, this is where like all the good stuff happens, and this is where we are just reacting. Okay, so step 2 is to further engage with positive self-talk. And so what do I want to say? What's so helpful is to start to look at what you have done right. So it's like, you know, what most people do when they fuck up is they think all is lost. Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Let me just like throw the baby out with the bathwater because I ate a cupcake. And the thing that I want to encourage you to do is to counteract that shit, to counteract the like, you know, like avalanche of criticism by looking at like all of the shit that we've been doing and that we are doing that is so good. And whether that's like directly related to your weight loss efforts, this is kind of my focus in general in here, or not, which is like, you know, I'm a good sister, like daughter, you know, it's like I help my clients, like I, you know, I do my laundry, like I put away all my clothes. I, you know, was so smart to like fill up my gas tank, you know, last night, like, and then like I'm smart, I'm strong, and kind of like, you know, that was so genius for you to have like marinated that chicken and made that pumpkin soup and this food is like super high volume and it's filling and it's delicious. Like, you had a really great day, like exercise, you had an amazing workout. Like, so we just want to flood our brain with reality, all right? And basically want to intentionally offset this like steep and slow or quick slide of criticism with this whole boost of positive reinforcement, affirmations, acknowledgement, validation, how great you are, how fantastic you are. Oh my God, what a superstar. You're so smart. How fantastic. You're doing such an amazing job. I've lost this much weight. My clothes feel looser. I look amazing in the mirror. Like, I feel so much better. We want to amplify that shit so that we don't focus where we don't want to go. Okay? Super helpful. This is like the key. This is the tipping point for not like down the mountainside, like letting ourselves like roll over our own like crushed and like limp body. Number 3, I'm going to say this. So logic is like, we want to have like loving logic. And so this is like a come to Jesus moment. And I hope everybody gets this. And I hope this makes like so much sense. And oh my God, of course, that would be madness to have eaten one cupcake and then continue to eat more cupcakes because you had one. Less is more. So I say this to my fat burners. It's like, if you're going to deviate, less is more. Like, get out as soon as possible. Do not rationalize that like, well, since I had this, it doesn't matter. That could not be further from the truth. It 100% matters. It totally matters, like in every way possible. So when it's like, I've had enough, oh fuck, this, I don't really want this. This wasn't really good. I'm not really enjoying this. You need to get out, okay? So loving logic. If a little is bad, if a little is not good, if a little is not helpful, more is worse. More is not better. Okay? So please abandon the in for a penny, in for a pound thinking. That is crazy. It makes absolutely no sense to do more damage after we've done some damage. Okay? I hope that's like sane. Please adopt that thinking. And then number 4, and I'm going to talk about fat burning magic in a moment, is to chill out. So what a lot of people do, and this is again something like, so I desire to create, basically to change the face of fat loss and fitness, and meaning that it is such a punitive process for so many people. And my goal is to make it one of self-love. So what I aim to do with Fat Burning Pro, Fat Burning Extended, is to marry self-love with science. So it's like, this is how the body works, and this is how we work best, which is by feeling best, honoring ourselves, listening to our truth. So then we just have this, this teammate that we get to work with. We have this like loving partner that we get to, join forces with to help us. And I feel like that's what ends up happening with a lot of fat burners. Anyway, so step 4 is to chill out. So what a lot of people do that are looking to lose weight is they, because they did something excessive and extreme over here, then they kind of want to do something excessive and extreme to counteract that. So I overate, so now I'm going to over-exercise. Now I'm going to do something kind of frenetic, excessive, fast, frequent, long, lengthy. And the thing that I want to say is that will more than likely kind of keep you swinging from both ends of the pendulum. That was almost speculum with a combination of spectrum and pendulum. Anywho, so we want to get off that craziness, okay? So basically, we don't want to just charge in the other direction, because what that ends up doing is it sends us back again. So then we're just like binging from opposite ends. And the truth is, that is exhausting. It feels a little self-harming. It's quite unconscious. We're just ignoring ourselves up the wazoo. We're ignoring perhaps our fullness over here. We're ignoring our pain and maybe our hunger over here. And all we do is just flip back and forth. And what it really does, if you care about efficiency and using your energy well, this is the worst thing to do. This will just keep you literally running in circles, okay? It is foolish. It is, it's wasteful is what it is. And it's futile. It is so defeating is really the truth. If this is like what we're doing, we just stay in the same spot, like running to standstill, really. So running in circles, highly don't recommend. So the way to get off of the crazy train is to chill out, is to do easy exercise. I am such a huge fan of exercise, of movement every day. And that literally could be, sometimes it is for me, pacing. I have a walking pad here, which I'm so grateful for. Pacing around my apartment as I like work on my phone. Like it literally could be taking the stairs more. It could be like wandering, doing household chores after dinner, going to the gym, being on a treadmill, going for a long walk, doing yoga, whatever. But I'm going to suggest movement for sure, but intentional exercise that's not this like, let me try to offset the overdue over here, and potentially something that is easy. Potentially. Like, I can get more specific if anyone has questions about that. Because I'll just say this too. I am a loophole lover. So there are ways to kind of offset excess. But the biggest thing that we want to do is we want to chill the fuck out. We don't want to be in this hyped up, oh my God state, because we're dysregulated. We're away from here. We're in this anxious place. And it's so easy just to be reactive when we are there. All right? Not useful. So step 4, we want to chill out. We want to do easy exercise. We absolutely want to move. We want to be relaxed about food. And so this is not, let me ignore my hunger and not eat. We don't eat if we're not hungry. We don't not eat if we are hungry. Because when we're like whacked out and winding ourselves up, we will feel stressed, and that will typically elevate our hunger, and we will want to eat more. And then we'll have another like, fuck it moment, right? So let's not do that. We want to chill out. And basically, we just want to get back to our intended plan. We just want to get back to business. So if what you're doing is working for you, if what you're doing feels best to you, and like if what you're doing is helping you to achieve what you desire, then just return to the plan. Just return to what you've been doing. Do not worry about it. The majority rules. So essentially, it's like, again, one day is one day. It doesn't matter. So we don't want to make it multiple days. And how we avoid that, I'll go back. I'll go through this whole thing again. It was in step 2. But essentially, no stress. Get back to your plan. Do not worry about it. All right? And so then I just wanted to talk about fat burning magic. So the reason why I know about weight loss is because of my own issues with emotional eating. And I have a radically different existence now than over 20 years ago well over 20 years ago when this became like a problem for me. But the whole thing, the reason why I bring this up is because I love fat burning because of how forgiving it is. So not only do fat burners, basically, it's harder for us to gain weight, which is crazy, and it's easier for us to lose weight, which is amazing. Not only do we like waste more energy as fat burners because of the fuel that we are burning and creating, but we can also do shit safely. So what I mean by that is that when fat burners fuck up, it's like we have carb feasts with regularity. And so what that means is we have more food and more carbohydrates. So in some respects, it's like, all right, that was a little early for my carb feast, but I'm just gonna treat it as a carb feast, and I'm just gonna get back to business like I normally would after a carb feast. So one benefit of being a fat burner when we fuck up is that we have different thinking as part of our spelled out lifestyle, as part of our learned lifestyle, meaning that we are regularly eating more and indulgent food. So when we eat more and indulgent food on a day we didn't plan to, it's like, that wasn't great, but oh well, and I'll just get back to business, which is what I would always do after a carb feast. So that like guilty all or nothing thinking doesn't really exist because we do this shit all the time. It's no big deal. Also, as a fat burner, because we're used to carb feasts, is that we understand that our body will feel different after it. So for sugar burners, they can be just as hungry the next day. And what I'll say is, I'm not on the pulse of you. If we're not working together, I don't know what's going on with your body. But in so many respects, I'll just say, if weight loss is your focus, if you're not hungry, not your doctor, not a scientist, don't eat. Eat when you are hungry. Do not eat when you are not hungry if you want to lose weight. That's like kind of a general, like reasonable, useful guideline. Be in touch if you have any questions about that. So for fat burners, essentially the next day, it's like we're typically less hungry. And so what does that mean? It means that we can eat later the next day, that we're not even thinking about food until later in the day, or that we can eat lighter for the day, because it's like that surplus really registers for us. And so it's like we're not just, trying to like sew our lips shut and ignore our hunger signals. We don't have those signals because we just had a feast. So our body is like topped up, everything is cool, don't need more food today, maybe need significantly less food today because we had more yesterday. And so I bring this up as a distinction that it is natural for us to eat less after we've eaten more. And it's not because we're trying to offset this surplus deliberately by trying to just reduce the caloric load the next day. It's natural for us to eat less simply because we are less hungry. So this is a quality that our body has, a characteristic that our body has, that we can just take advantage of. It's just really comfortable to eat less after we've had a feast, or eat less after we've had an additional feast. It's just normal. So us listening to ourselves can just kind of naturally offset an unexpected, for sure, overindulgence just because of how our body works. So that's freaking awesome. And for some seasoned fat burners, this is for people that do our Fat Burning Pro Extended for sure, or people that have done the boost after they have become established fat burners, which is where we learn how to do slightly longer fasts, 36 to 48 hours. Some people choose to not eat all day because it's like, I'm not hungry. And I will just say, that's pretty much how I fast. It's like, Sometimes it's accidental because it's like, ooh, if I drink alcohol, I tend to want to eat afterwards, which is like another reason why I also don't like to drink alcohol, because I just feel like it's like a little bit of a disaster, like physiologically for me. Like it's fine, it can be fun, but it just tends to like raise my hunger and make me want to eat pizza early in the morning. And so anyway, I don't want to do that all the time. So that's a fuck up that I've learned from, right? It's like not perfect, and I'll probably do that again someday, but I aim to not do it, and I aim to drink less often for so many reasons, as well as putting fat metabolism on hold while it's in your system, but it leads to other behaviors that are not supportive for me. So my intelligent choice is to do that shit less, okay? I welcome you to do the same thing as well. So anyways, for some of us, it's like those of us who comfortably fast at times periodically for 36 to 48 hours, it's like it feels easy and obvious. That's my goal for my fat burners with slightly longer fasting. It's like that's why and when we're doing it, not because we're hungry, not because we like had a big oopsie night. It's like if it works out that way, if it feels easy to do, okay. Anyway, so one asshole statement that I make a lot to my fat burners, and this is just like another like fat burner magic. It's like, if you want to lose weight, don't eat. And so this is not for sugar burners because you're hungry. So it makes sense to eat when you're hungry. It makes sense to not eat when you're not hungry. So for fat burners, like it's super easy to weather fuck ups by just like letting the line out. And it's like, typically I eat at noon and it's like, I wasn't hungry. And it's like, and I did have this excessive night last night. So it's like, all right, like, let's just let that be a little later. Let that fasting window be a little bit longer because it is easy to do. And in so many respects, the body corrects itself when we give it time and space. So, which is really easy in a fat burning state. I'll just also say, final like plug for fasting. Fasting is so reparative. I feel like one element is just because the body is just like doing its thing. It's just tending to itself. It's fixing itself. It's healing itself. It is slowing aging by not having the suggestion to have cells divide by each time we eat. And so it's like, it's the most natural thing on the planet to do nothing and for your body to work on itself to speed up weight loss, to improve your hormonal balance, your human growth hormone levels. It improves every system of the body, brain health, gut health, heart health, reduces visceral fat. And it's like, oh yeah, and all that like bullshit that I ate last night. It's like, this is not accumulating because I am just letting my body work off of it. And so again, this is not like, okay, let me just do this. You could. It typically is pretty uncomfortable, and a lot of people kind of like crash and burn later in the day before the 24-hour mark because they're fucking hungry, which is reasonable as a sugar burner. But when you've gone through a mitochondrial reconstruction, which is what fat burners have done, then you're easily running off of your stored energy, your body fat, and you don't feel hungry, you don't have cravings, you have an abundance of energy. It's crazy. When you fast and you're just letting your body work off of your stored energy, making energy from your body fat, the energy surplus is ridiculous, sometimes to the tune of disrupting sleep. It's amazing. It's crazy. And I think I'm going to be a little wordy right now. Anyway, that was something that affected my travel to Hawaii last month or so very positively with the time difference. I fasted on the way there and the way home. And I like seamlessly slid into the current time zone. And then I had 1 hour of sleep the day that I traveled, the day that like wouldn't end. overnight. I forgot that that was going to be a reality. I had 1 hour of sleep. I functioned the whole next day perfectly. And then I like died at 9 o'clock at night in my bed. But it was so useful. I had so much energy. It was crazy. Anyway, this is what is possible as a fat burner. So forgiveness, flexibility, grace, it's awesome. And it's not because you're just trying. It's not because you're using willpower. It's because you're relying on your wiring, your metabolic wiring, okay? So I'm just gonna go through all these steps again. Shit shows shame, how to totally eradicate this business. Number one is to make yourself right. It's like you have to be united. A house divided falls. Like you will be less conscious, more reactive, and making like shitty choices when you are like fighting with yourself. So we have to make ourselves right. We fucked up for one of three reasons, right? Unintentionally, intentionally, or kind of habitually because we have a bigger need. We want to learn from this shit. Number two, huge tipping point here. We want to like bolster, bump up, amplify positive self-talk. I'm such a genius. What have I been doing that's so good? Oh my God, I've done all of these amazing things. I'm such a rock star. I'm such a rock star in the land of weight loss. I'm such a rock star as a human. I'm doing such a good job. I've been getting better, blah, blah, blah. We want to double that shit down because that gets ahead of this spiral or this like avalanche of self-criticism. And that's the shit that makes us tank. That's the shit that makes us say, fuck it, that has us like going down the road to ruin. And so kind of piggybacking on that is step three, which is loving logic. For the love of goddess, please remember that less is more. When we deviate, we don't want to keep doing more damage by having more shit that we didn't intend to in the first place. So it's one thing to like, oh my God, those cupcakes are so amazing. I had 3 of them and I fucking love them. And then to kind of come to when you've stopped and stop. It's very different to have however many cupcakes and then say, fuck it, because I've had however many cupcakes. That is crazy, okay? I hope that makes so much sense. I hope that's like one thing that you get from this, if anything. I hope at least that. In for a penny, in for a pound is madness. Less is more. Don't dig your own grave, please. And number 4 is to chill out. So like just relax about this shit. It happened, it's over, it's totally cool, everything is great. Don't worry about it. Today is another day. It's all perfect. Drops in the bucket, majority rules, all good. So we want to do easy exercise, yes to movement, not crazy exercise. We don't want to be swinging back and forth on this pendulum, unconsciously kind of hurting ourselves. We want to chill out. We just want to get back to our plan. Don't worry about it at all, okay? No stress. Learn from one of the 3 ways that you fucked up. Doesn't matter. You're in good company. Everything's cool. And then the fat burner magic is that we can just do different shit. So that's like, all right, I had an extra carb feast. We're used to this. We just get back to business as usual. It's no worries. It's no problem. We're made for this. We know how to do feasts, and we really ultimately, seasoned fat burners that have gone through our boost or extended program know how to do famine, which is like the other side of that, which is natural, which is human. So it's like most fat burners after their feast are less hungry. So we just naturally eat later, we eat less, not because we're trying to, but because of how we feel. That's what we do. And then, for super seasoned fat burners, it's like maybe we choose to fast. And it's like my goal is for people to do that when it's easy and obvious. When they've learned how to do it, they know how to use tools, they know how to listen to their body because they've been doing this for months. regarding listening to themselves and knowing their own body's signals, knowing how to adjust, and doing what they need to do for themselves. And so for some of us, it's like, I'm just not hungry. And that's typically what happens for me, is I give myself the opportunity. If I'm hungry, I will eat. And if I'm not, I won't. And it's fucking awesome. And I will say, final like brag about this, is that it's so awesome to eat the shit that you want when you want it. And it's also super reasonable to not eat the shit that you don't want when you don't want it. So there are moments in time where things matter more, meaning like, oh my God, I'm at this thing, I'm at this place. Of course, Jesus Christ, of course I want to try the creme brulee. Of course I want to try the like, you know, like whatever, brisket gone wild with mashed potatoes like all over it. Like, of course I want that shit. And it's like, great, have it. And there's also times where it's like, you know, it's Tuesday and I'm home like eating by myself. And it's like, there are like cookies in the freezer, but it's like, do I really want them today? Do I even like, no. And so it's easy for us to pick and choose because we're not hungry. We're not as hungry. We're less hungry and we don't have cravings. We're not beholden to this shit. And then we just have periods of like regularly scheduled indulgence. So it's really liberating, especially for the holidays that are coming up. So anyway, I hope this was amazing. If you are a woman over 40 who would like more of this, who would like to understand how to have a more peaceful existence in her own body, how to know how to listen to herself, and to literally have a body that works differently and on your own behalf, please consider Fat Burning Pro or Fat Burning Pro Extended and undergoing a mitochondrial reconstruction where we literally rebuild and repair the energy producing unit of your cell to easily access your own fat for fuel. And it results in less hunger, no cravings, more energy to a crazy degree, better moods, slowed aging, easier weight loss, harder weight gain, freedom like this, regret-free living. That is my goal for all the ladies that I work with, for them to understand what does what, how to listen to themselves, how to honor themselves, how to be loving, self-respecting, to do what they want, honestly, and have what they want, which is typically a slimmer body that is pain-free, that is abundant with energy, that slows more slowly, ages more slowly, whose health is robust, who's comfortable in her own skin. It's awesome. Okay, so two things. So if you're interested in that, please check out the sugar quiz below. That is where everybody begins, every fat burner, to see the percentage of sugar you are burning versus fat. That's very eye-opening for you and for me. There's some videos after that quiz. Please check them out. Please set up a time for a free call should you wish to discuss that further and potentially get your body in a completely different mode that literally changes everything. It feels radically different. It's amazing. And it functions so much differently and so much better. Okay? And then the other thing I wanted to say, I have a new mini program. It's called the Busy Mom Hack Stack. And it's essentially, it's solving the one problem of how do we do dinner when we're on the road? How do we do dinner when I'm driving all my children around to their sports practices? And essentially, this mini program is meant to help you to have foods that are easy and supportive, available, how to make sure you have them, and also assistance with how to be less hungry, to help you to get where you want to go, to eat either then at that time or to eat what will be available there. Okay, so it's meant to prevent, or it's actually to solve the problem of the feeling of failure being inevitable because of that circumstance, because of the need to drive your kids around, the need to be at the ball field, whatever it might be. So this is meant to help you to not feel like failure is inevitable and to have the chance at success in the weight loss that you desire through the route that you are using. Okay, and so right now, I am selling it for $25 for the first 10 people. I really want feedback to hear what people think of it, to hear what they think of the value. I think it's really just going to be kind of incrementally more money than that, nothing crazy. I would love for a lot of people to get their hands on this and to benefit from it and to start to understand a little bit more about what would be good, better, best for the body, how the body works, and also more strategy. That it's like, oh, I could just do A over B. That would not feel like a sacrifice, and that would be so much better for my waistline. That's what I want people to know. All right, so that's it. I hope that was amazing. Please be in touch for any reason. I will attach the sugar quiz underneath there, and then I'll just maybe like share a little clip about the Busy Mom hack stack. Be in touch if you are inclined to check that out.